Hi, it's Kathy from Raven Vintage. Welcome back to the Kit Create Collab. We are in the third week of the 6-week journey here, and today we're going to put together the signatures for my journal. This is a March junk journal challenge, and it's hosted by Dawn from Emerald Mama's Creations. There are 6 creators total. So Monday we have Dawn, and Tuesday Sandy from Kentucky Krafter. Wednesday is myself. Thursdays we have DearJulieJulie. On Friday we have Bexx with BlackWhisperCrafts, and on Saturdays we have my friend Cindy Lewis. So everyone is doing something a little bit different. We all have a similar kit, but with different fabrics. And Dawn curated these kits. I'm not sure if they're all gone. You can check her Etsy shop to see if you want to play along. You can catch up on the videos. That's totally fine. I don't know if they're all gone, but you can check. I'm going to list her Etsy shop below, and you can see if there's any kits left. These curated kits. So it's called So Lovely, SCW, So Lovely, and it's a sewing themed kit. And it's just wonderful to have a curated kit. I can't say that enough. So today, I am going to put my signatures together. So if you missed the last couple of videos, the first one was an unboxing, and then I worked on the cover in the next video. And it is made out of, if you can tell, an envelope. So that opens up, and I did grommet. I'm going to do my 2-hole ribbon closure. So I did grommet those holes at the back. I showed you how to do that without poking through this side of the envelope. And we put in some, she had some sturdy cardstock in the kit, so I put some on both sides to make the cover a little more sturdy. I covered it in fabric, I covered the spine, and I did make myself a I think it's 1 inch wide, we decided, on the spine. But let's do the signatures today. So I keep everything for my project in this basket. So everything that goes with it is in here. Now I did grab another box to separate the small pieces, but let's just do a quick sort. So I have my cover, I have the pattern that came with it, and then I'm going to put all my fabrics in one spot, and then all my papers in another. And this we will start choosing our items for the signatures. So I've already been chopping away at these fabrics, so these, and then there's the small bits. Paper, some cut-offs from the cover. I also have all of this ribbon. So set that aside, and then here's some of the smalls. So I could open this up and dump that in here, just so I can leaf through it easier when I'm looking for stuff. And for now, I'm going to put the fabrics and the ribbon and lace back because I'm not using those. I'll put this back for now. I'm not using that. So when I'm making my signatures, I want to do a quick flip through of these because there's a few things I thought might make really cute tags or journaling cards. And I also need to decide how many signatures I'm going to do. So that's going to be, I'm not sure, a good tuck card. I might cut that into pieces. So okay, so here are some smalls. I'll just put them to one side. So is there anything I want to cut from that? No, that's a perfect page. I love this as a page. That's probably going to be my guide for the size. So I kind of like that as a journaling card. So that's a maybe. I'm going to set that aside. I have an idea for these fish, so I am going to set that aside. And I kind of want to cut some of those out. So here's another page. Another page. This is some dyed paper. Someone thought that might be avocado dyed, but I don't think so. I think that might be something else. That's a pretty rich color. That's a page. Lovely Ladies can be a page. That'll be a page. And then we have some scrapbook paper, which will likely become pockets or a page. This here. I wanted to use that possibly. And I wanted to use her. And then I have the book pages, of course. That's a page, and I do believe that'll be a page, and that's gonna be a page. Okay. So let's take a look at these maybes for a second, because if I cut that off, I could still use, this is what I'm thinking. I'll tell you what my thought process is here. I want to use this gal here. So if I cut her off, I could still use this as a smaller page. Let's just do that right now. So I'll put this with my smalls for pages. And then that could end up being some sort of a journaling card too, or a tag. So I'm going to keep that. Okay, so that is ready to go. This is going to be, could be used as some sort of a tag. And I think I'll just set my scraps to the side for now. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. And then this page, same thing. That's a nice, it's quite tall, but I do want to use that. So fit? No. Okay, so I want to use that as a tag or something. I'll put my scraps to the side. Now I have a, that'll be a page. Use that. And I definitely want to choose those fish. So, yeah, I think I'm just going to set that aside because I have a thought for the fish. And then if I cut this, what do I end up with? I think maybe I can live without that. But these I do want to keep. I don't know. I feel like I want to, but maybe I won't. Yeah, maybe I won't. I'll just use that as a page. Okay. So these items are smalls and others, and I've started a pile of ephemera. So this is the size of my journal. So let's see what we have for. That's perfectly fine. And if I fold it in half, is it going to fit? Oh yeah. Perfect. Okay. So I'm just going to start folding these in half, and then we'll decide how we're going to put our signatures together. So it's going to go this way. I'm going to set this aside for a second. Okay, this, the height's fine. It's a little bit wide, so I'm definitely going to fold in one side as a tuck. And then I'm going to fold that in half. See, you can see I'm not measuring. I just know that it has to kind of fit this size. We like it when they're different sizes. When you have a page that's torn like that, you can decide if you want that rough edge at the bottom or the top. You can also decide if you want all your text going the same way or not. So by that I mean here we're reading this way, or you turn it so that you're reading this way. Put these to the side for a second. Now, are these tall enough or too tall? Let's see. These are the scrapbook papers. So they're the same size as this inside page I use, or the page I use for the inside cover. So let's say that yes, they are the right size. Are they too wide? No, I think they're fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, now this one I could go this way, I could go this way. I think we'll keep it upright. Now that verse is going to get chopped off if I, either way it's going to be, unless I make the seam here, which I can do. And then if that's the edge of the journal, like that. This can be folded back. Let's do that. So you can see my bundle is all fitting together. This one might be a little tall. It might need to be trimmed. These gals, I'm going to go this direction. This is going to need to be folded back. So let's not fold it just yet because we'll see what we want for layers, but that's fine. Same thing's going to happen with this. I think I might separate this. And do a couple this way. Put this one in half. One might be a bit tall. Like I said, I think that one might have been my guide. That one's already folded in half. And then this guy. Okay, fabulous. I need to decide who I want in the outside and who I want on the inside. Let's count how many pieces we have first of all. That's a good start. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So that would be 6 pages each. And then we can add the other items as well. So I think we'll use some of this. Let's see if I can rip that in half. Going to be a page. So that's 20. So roughly 7 pages each. So let's spread this out a little more evenly. Let's do these 3 as potential covers. Do I like any of those against? I'm looking to see how that would look. I'm going to make this, I'm going to make that the first signature. I'm going to make that the last signature, and this will be the center signature. Okay, decision made. So 1, 2, 3. So to even it out, I'm going to, like, say those 2, and then you're going to get this. And then let's do some similar items. Everybody's going to get just a black and white. And then I'm going to do that. And I'll put this odd one in the middle. And then we have a printed, and a printed. So you see the balance I'm trying to do here? And then what do I have left? So this is the center, so it can be the oddball. So we have 3 kind of full colors here. Those 3. But this guy has that interesting fold. So let's just, it doesn't really matter at this point. Let's just mix it up. I'll put the extra here and here. Like that purple there and there. Okay, so I've decided those are my 3 signatures. Now I can add some papers to them. So let's see what they're going to look like. We like this on the outside or the inside, the very center. I'm going to guess the outside. And let's just start layering and see what it's going to look like. We want to see some color against black and white, and we want to see some mix of materials as well. So let's throw this in. I'll throw that. I think I like this and then that. So I'm liking this layering that we're getting. Just gonna move that up a little bit, like that. It's too low. Let's start again with our layering. Yeah. So I might fold that back a bit, but let's start with that. And then we'll do this over top of the center. That's over top of the whole thing. And I'm going to say let's switch these two around so this pink coral color breaks up that. Okay, so there's one. Set that to the side. So here's the next one. We're going to use this as the outside. And again, we want to mix up the papers a little bit, like the type of paper. So I like that against that. I like the layering here. Then we'll do a print page and that'll come down a bit so you can see the 3 layers. Then we'll start over with this guy. Covers pretty much everything. And then a print. And then this. So we will have to fold that back. Let's see. Yeah, so that might need to be trimmed off the top, or we might like it sticking out. We'll see. So let's leave that one for now. And then here, this is the outside. Okay. It's nice to have something a little sturdy in the center. So I'm going to do this like for stitching. So against that, we probably want something a little bit taller. And then we want to start seeing these layers. So let's do that paper. This one's really tall. I am going to have to cut that. So I'm just going to do it right now for that. Okay. Let's see if we can get some layering going here again. So that I just folded kind of funky. So there I can see that brown sticking up the top. Let's get a color piece in here. So a little bit of layering. And again, I think I want to break up the white. Let's see how that looks. That's good. So I just want to see some layering, that's all. And I want to break up this white. I might end up covering that, we'll see. Okay, so basically there's 3 signatures. Like that. And how do they fit? Width-wise, we're good, except for this one piece. So let's fold that back. So that was this signature. So you can fold it back so you can see all those layers. I like that, and make that a tuck. We can also fold it in for a flap as well. Oops. I want to see some of the edge of the papers. Just so I can see a little bit of something there. I mean, we can add lace and stuff to the edges as well. There, but at least now it's all within the border of it. Now, what did I say? Is that the front or the back? That's the back. Okay. So there's 3 signatures. Now we might still change things around. We haven't committed to sewing anything yet. But now let's add some shorter pages. So what I'm going to do is go through each signature, and I want to see where we need a break in. So solid. We have these, and we have these smaller pages. I can fold it this way, but then it's plain, so I want some print or something. So let's add that here to break this all up. And then that's pretty good. That's pretty good. This could use a little something. Oh, let's just wait and see. That's not too bad. This could use a little something. I'm just going to make a really small fold there. So we might end up using that as a to attach something that we want to flip out. Like that. That's good for the first signature. We also want to add a little extra to the center because it didn't have as many pages, so we'll use the envelope in the center. Okay, so again, let's break up this. I'm just going to take a book page and put it sideways. Now we can do a couple, so we can do one like that. We can do another one. It's a different font, it's a different size, and the page is a little bit different color, and it's a different size. Like that. So we got some layers going. And then I do want to use this envelope. So I think I'll use the flap, and I'm going to put it down here towards the bottom. Half and half, so we still see that purple. That's good, I'm happy with that. And then in here, that needs more color. So we'll see. This has text there. Text. This one's not too bad, actually. And then we have this as the center. Now that's stitching, that page looks like it might not stay together, but, and how do we look on this side? This one isn't too bad, really. Not too bad at all. Let's do this. Let's maybe grab, well, there was this page as well. Reminded me of the packing paper for office supplies, but someone else mentioned it could be like children's, like a children's paper pad for art, doodling and such. There, I like that. It's broken up a little bit more. Let's add some of this blue and yellow in here. Oh, yep, no, it's perforated. So where did I say it needed some color? Up here. So this is, let's do this way, but I do want to see this green. Not really liking that jaggedy edge. I've got these antiquing scissors I kept out from doing envelope flaps the other day. So they're out, let's use them. There we go. Not super straight, Kathy. What else is new? Okay. I want to see more of that green thing, so I'm going to pull this back a little further and fold that like that. It's better. And then, since I used part of the carbonless form in there, I'll use the other one in here. So, let's break up this here. Just gonna try this, see what it looks like. I'm going to change that fold, bring that back just a little bit, just so that it doesn't line up exactly with the edge of that. There. Okay, that's good. We have another book page left. Where do we want to put that? I'm good with book pages and those two. you want to be a skinny book page like this? If I do this, the font's going a different direction. Doesn't matter where I go, that's going to happen. How about there? I like that. Okay, I like that. Very good. So there's all those papers now folded up. Now this one is just a little bit tall. It's the only one. So let's just trim off a super tiny little bit, top and bottom. Again, I'm not measuring, I'm just guessing, going by eye. And because I like the layering, I don't need it to be exactly a certain measurement. There we go. So I aim to use every single thing in the kit. That's my goal. That's my challenge to myself. So there, we've used all the papers, and this is what I have left. I have the fish, which I'm going to use this for some ephemera. I have a couple of ephemera pieces I started with, and I still have the index card. And then I have those 3 pieces of wallpaper left. So that's good. I like that. All right. Now I'm content to start sewing those in because I'm happy with the placement of those. Let's see about the thickness of the journal. So this will be on the inside. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I'm pretty happy with that. If I need to round this out some, I will. We'll see. Okay, so let's do our holes for our signatures. All right. So if you're curious of how I was going to attempt to do that, I have this ruler from the We Are Memory Keepers binding kit, and I use this all the time. You can see I've put black Sharpie lines where I put my holes, usually all the time. So, and then this I have marked top, and it has a little bit of a lip here. So I always hang this off the top, and then this is the height of where my holes go in my journal. So typically my pages are the exact same size as my height of my cover, but in this case the cover's a little bit taller, a little longer. So I need to center this somehow so that my journal pages get centered. So in this case we are going to have to measure. Darn it. I'm going to work from the outside first, I think, so I can see where my edges are. Yeah. Okay, so this journal, we are 9 inches. So 4.5 is center, and look at that, it just so happens to be right on the same line as the pattern. So that's good to know, right in line with this. So I will know that that's my center. So when I'm putting this on top, instead of hooking it onto the top of the page, I'm just going to line up my center with this line as being my center of the journal. Okay, and then I want to get it lined up so that it's on the edge, or centered with the edges. So pretty much have this guide to go by. There. All right. That looks good to me. Pretty much centered. So I'm just going to start poking some holes right through. I'm on top of my mat, so I'm fine. So I'm just going to make some pretty aggressive holes here, pokey holes, and then I'll go through after with my pokey tool and make those holes a little more pronounced. So I'm using that black line and I'm going to do 3 signatures, so I'm poking all 3 holes. They're already measured width-wise, distance-wise. And then if I use the same ruler to mark the holes in my signatures, I know they're going to line up to my cover. Okay, so I don't know if you can see that, but there are little tiny holes where I just poked my needle. So I can just go in and make those more prominent. Just kind of whirl that around a little bit. And I am holding the envelope, the cover, because I'm going through a few layers here. It's a little tough, but I don't want it to crack or bend, so pretty sure that's where that hole is. Might have to redo that one, it's a little hard to see. No, I think that's good. Put that. Now you could use a like a fine Sharpie, like a black marker, and mark your holes and then poke them, so you can see them better. I have a fair amount of confidence in what I did here, so. And there. I can also see this one's just on the edge of the fabric design, so I can also kind of use that as a guide. Okay, so there's 6 holes. I need 3 at the top. Let's turn this around. This one's a little hard to see. Right there. I'll just double check that because it is a little hard to see. So if I line this up, there, right through with the ruler. Okay. There it is. Now you can grommet your holes if you like. I'm fine that makes a wider hole, and then the thread is loose and then your signatures are loose. So that's been my experience. I know some people do grommet their holes and don't seem to have a problem, but Kathy does. So okay, so that's good. There's my holes are made. Might be a little bit of a challenge sewing through fabric, but we'll see. We'll make it work. Okay, so here's where I want to use my clips. And this would be a good time to make sure you are upside right. Don't have anything in upside down. So I would put in a clip. You can clip wherever you want, side, top, whichever. So I'm going to do a little bit of both there. Okay, so in this case, I am going to make these all the same, and I am going to hook the top here. And then the center of this is going to be centered with the journal cover, so I'm quite happy with that. So what you'll see I do, I just hook this to the top with that ledge, and then I just go along beside the ruler, right in the crease of the signature, and just make a little hole lined up with those black lines. Then I grab the hole, put my pokey tool in the hole, and then I'm going to close the signature up as much as I can, because that's the natural way it's going to lay in the journal. A good idea to fold your signature in half before you poke the holes through. I have so much more luck sewing binding my signatures in when I do this kind of pinch fold thing here. Okay, so that's done. And then that one would be ready to be sewn in. So, speaking of sewing, we need to pick a thread color. It's one of my favorite parts. So this thread is going to show along the spine. it's going to be an open seam, like you'll be able to see my strings. So let's pick a good coordinating color. This kind of blends in, might not be bad. This also kind of blends in. So do we want a contrasting color? Do we want to see it? That one's nice and dark. This one sometimes looks blue. It's actually gray. I'm not sure if I'm in frame here, sorry. I don't think I'm gonna like that. Because there's already lines with the pattern, the fabric itself, I feel like I want it to blend. So I do, let's take a look at this one again. It depends if it's going to lay across this darker red burgundy stripe or the beige stripe. So I do like that. I think I'm going with this one. Okay, and then let's just pick a needle. Ooh, the big guy came out. Let's just go with that. So I'm using wax thread. I don't cut my string off because I find I waste a lot less if I just keep it attached, and that way I'm only cutting off what I need to cut off. Make myself a tail. I'm not tying anything. I'm just going to hang on to that tail. And I'm going to start from the center, inside. And this is the first signature, so we're doing the column of holes to the far left. The first column. And like I said, this might be, oh no, it went through. Now how are we for lining up? Am I happy with that? Pretty happy with that. It's a little high. Is it a little high? I feel like it's a little high. What do you think? But it is lined up, so I did measure, so I'm going for it. Okay, and then I always say, don't be a hero. I go through the cover, then I go through the signature. I don't try to do both at the same time. It's just, save yourself the frustration. Just go through the cover first. Then go through your signature. See, easy peasy. Without struggling. Okay, now if I find, I'm just going to mention this now, that once I put my signatures in, I feel like they're a little too high, I can put ruffles along the bottom of my pages to kind of fill in that gap. So I'm going over top of the center hole, down to the bottom. Again, don't be a hero. I'm just going through the signature first, and then I'll go through the cover. Okay. And I know I keep turning the journal one way or the other, but it's easier for me to see what I'm doing. Okay, now again, I'm going to go through back through the center hole. I'm going to try not to split the thread that's already there by poking this through the middle of the thread. I'm going to push in and then push the thread just over to the left a little bit. Through the journal cover. Let's see if I split the thread. No, it looks good. It looks good. And same thing, I'm going to kind of push that thread over to the side, go through the center hole and try not to split the thread, and it looks okay. Get back upside right here, pull my needle through. Now you need your threads to be, I'm pulling that right off right now, on either side of the center string. This is super long, so I'm going to pull back on my thread just till I get that tail like a decent length. Pull the other string for the other side. I'm making that a little bit taut. I'm going to hang on to it with both strings with my thumb and my finger. Flip it over, and what I'm looking for is to make sure the thread is tight on the outside. I want to check front and back of my signature, make sure it's tight to the spine. It is good there. I'm switching hands, thumb, finger, and I'm checking the back. Yeah, that's good. Now I'm going to cut my thread, and then I'm going to tie it, and I'll show you that S knot that I like to do, slide knot. So I just do a regular knot to start, just like you're tying your shoes. I like my knots to lay down flat as opposed to if this is a knot, that's a knot, and this is the third knot. Instead of them stacking up high, I like them to stack along the journal, laying down. So this is why I do this, and it only takes a little extra time. So this thread comes underneath, this one goes the opposite direction, but also underneath to make a letter S. It doesn't matter if your S is backwards or not. Just you want one string coming out one side, one string coming out the other. So this tail, I'm going to come back over top of the center line and then through the loop. So over, under, and pull through. Again, over, oops, over, under, and pull through. Okay, then I take the two strings and I just kind of go back and forth and back and forth. I'm sliding them up the center string there until they meet in the middle. And then when I get in the middle, I just kind of tighten things up a little bit. So now my knots are laying flat in the center. Okay, let's take this off, take this off. So you see how I'm right at the top here and a little bit too high. I didn't center that very well. I don't know what happened. I can pull it down a little bit, but like I said, I can do some sort of ruffle business at the bottom so that doesn't end up looking lopsided. I'm not at all upset about that. Okay, happiness. Happiness. Next signature, please. So you'll notice I didn't glue any pockets or anything yet. I always put my signatures in first and then I do my pockets after. Like do the gluing of the pockets after. Okay, so I'm gonna take a clip and a clip and just make sure that's the right direction. Yeah, this is the top. Just making sure that's the top. And then I'm going to use the top again, hook that on the edge. And I'm just making a poke hole as to where I'm going to poke through. So here, here, and here, right along the black lines I've made for myself. That's just what I like to do. And then I'm going to go to the hole, fold my signature, poke through, fold and poke. Find this one and fold and poke. Done. Okay, so we're ready to sew this one in. So again, just getting, you'll see how I just stay attached. And I know it might feel a little awkward, it's flopping around on your desk or your table while you're sewing, but you waste very little. Like I don't even have a tail cut off from the last one. There's no waste at all because I pulled the thread through to the tail length I wanted and then I cut this one accordingly, so there's no waste. So through the center hole, through the center hole of my journal cover, that. You can go top or bottom, up to you. And again, don't be a hero, just go through the cover. Open it up. Oh, here's a thought too. You can take a paper clip and your first signature that you sewed in, just to keep it out of your way, you can clip it to the cover. So it just isn't flopping around in front of you. Okay, so through the cover and then through the signature. Easy peasy. I'm flipping it back around. I've got this guy still attached. Okay, over top of the center to the bottom hole, through the signature, then through the cover. Okay. And again, I'm going to go in that back through that center hole and I'm just going to put the needle in and then I'm just going to push my thread over, like I'm pushing my needle this way just to kind of get it out of the way. Through the cover, Not worried about the signature yet. Just making sure. No, and I did split that. I did come through the, did I? No, I didn't. I thought I thought I broke the thread. I didn't. Okay, through, and then pull that to one side or the other, and then through the signature, hopefully without splitting the thread. And did I? Sometimes you don't know that you've split the thread until you pull this up, and then this starts coming up with it, and then you can see that you've split the thread. So, okay, again, on either side of the center string, I'm going to pull from the bottom so that this tail is the right length that I want it. And then I'm going to pull the opposite string until it's a little bit taut. And I'm going to pull those against from each other. Now I'm going to hold this and this together. I'm going to check my spine first. These look good. My lines aren't lined up well because my fabric isn't lined up. That's what happens when you use patterns, but we're going to have a tassel, so we're not going to worry about that. And then I want you to hold again with your thumb and your finger. Check that your signature is nice and tight against your spine. And switching hands, thumb and finger, and I'm checking the back of the signature to make sure this looks good. There isn't any loose loops of thread. Then I'm gonna cut so they're even. See, nothing to waste, no waste. Okay, so I'm just gonna start by doing a regular knot, and then I'm going to do that S knot again. So, don't always need it, but something to lift up. Slide that under. Over, under, pull, over, under, through, pull, slide, 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 slide. There, nice and flat. Nice and flat. Okay, done. Now let's take those clips off. Now let's take this signature and we'll add it to this clip. And clip them both to, oops. Trying to pull my signature down a little bit. To the cover so they're out of the way. And then the last signature. Well, it's not so bad, right? Not so bad at all. Okay. So again, oh, I better clip. See, if you weren't watching me, I probably wouldn't even clip these. I would just hold them tight. I don't anymore. I just don't often clip anymore. But you should start that way until you're comfortable with it. But I also do have a lot of different sizes of papers, so might be a good idea to clip. Okay. So again, I can tell by this text that I'm upside right. This is the top of my. Now you see I'm going to hook on this paper, the tallest paper, not this guy. And I'm just going to make my little pen marks or poke marks. This is going to be a little hard to see because it's already perforated. Maybe a little more aggressive with those holes. There we go. Okay, grab the hole, fold and poke through. Grab it, poke through. See, it's starting to separate. I might need to, you know what we should do right now? We should put some washi tape along there because I think this is going to separate. I am going to add a little bit of glue because I just don't trust washi tape to stay. So I'm going to have to poke those holes through again. Good. There we go. That's going to help. Then I won't worry about that coming apart. So can I see where those holes are? Yeah, it's very easy. I'm just poking right through that washi tape. I can kind of judge it by eye, and then I can feel it. Like if there's any resistance, obviously, that's not it. So it should poke through very easily. You can measure again if you need to. Yeah, super easy. Okay. All right, so so if you can, I do recommend that you just keep your spool attached while you're doing this, and then you don't have any waste. It's smart. Okay, so let's go through that center hole. And then I'm going to do my slide knot. Make this letter S. Call through, S for snively, S for slide, whatever you want to call it. I don't care. Slide knot makes sense. Not everyone's going to remember. Some people, we pronounce our name Snively. Some people think it's Snively. I don't know if some Snivelies pronounce their name Snively. I know there's a lot of Snivelies in the US. That's where we landed when we came across. And I don't know, our original name was Schnebley. And then it somehow became Snively. There we go. I like the way that looks. Okay, so we have 3 signatures sewn into our spine. My holes are a little, this one's a little far to the right, so I poked that a little far to the right. I'm not concerned. I know it looks a little funny, but I'm not concerned because I am going to add a tassel. So let's not worry about that. I'm not worried about it. If you wanted to, you could take that out, move your hole over, pull your fabric together with glue if you wanted it to be straight. But because my fabric kind of leans to the right and then curves here, I'm not going to fight with it. I'm happy with that. Okay, so let's take a little flip through with our decisions we made with our papers. Some of these will leave as flaps, some will glue down as tuck spots or pockets. But I don't do any of that until everything's sewn in. It's going to be some sort of a flip. I like the layering. I like the mixture of papers. I like how it's looking very much. So that's the end of the first signature. Here's the next one. I like those 2 book pages against each other. I love this font. This is great. I like how, oh, now my brown paper ended up sliding up a little bit, but you can still see the purple here. So I'm a little but I can tear that too. So you can see the purple a bit more. Oh, the white did too. All right, I'm not super concerned about that at this moment. You know what I am gonna do though? I am just going to do this. Cut some of that off if I need to. There. I like that layering a little better. I like that. There's the center of that signature. Same thing here. I think I might bring that back, or we can fold it. No, let's just do a tear. I think it's straight. Is it straight? Oops. Not very good tearing with my left hand. There. I like that layering better. This is cute. Like that. Guide paper, again, same look on the other opposite side. And then the last signature, I like that we see that. A few different. So we'll decide if we're going to make that a tuck or a flip later. That's nice. That's nice. That breaks up that blue. Her skirt matches. I like that. So there's the center, and I'm glad we put that washi tape in because that looked like it was going to have an issue. This paper there. Oh, feet. That's funny. Yeah, another flip or pocket. Don't know yet. I am going to cover her up. I don't know who that is, so I'm just going to cover it up. And it's definitely a picture with like a personal photo, like a portrait, as opposed to just models for advertising. Where'd they go? The people with the feet. It's a little different. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but this is really nice. This is really nice. I like the yellow. The blue lines still go with that. That's great. And there. Okay, I'm very happy with that. I'm happy with the thickness. And like I said, you can tell that I misjudged the holes for the journal cover. I put them up a little too high. So I will do something across the bottom with frills or something or lace of some sort, just to balance that out. If it even seems to be an issue. I don't know. At first glance, yes. It looks a little awkward. That's okay. Everything is fixable in junk journaling. Everything. Okay, I think that's probably a good place to stop at for today. When we come back next week, we're going to do the pockets, more of the structural elements, the belly bands, the pockets, the tucks, and then we will start adding, embellishing the journal the week after. Do you believe it? Here we are already. And then we still have to decorate the cover and do the tassels. So hopefully we can get that all done next week. And if I need to squeeze in an extra video, I will. But thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed selecting your signatures and sewing your signatures. So now you can see where, yes, it's a very eclectic mix of papers, but when you put them together and do your layering and kind of balance out the papers with what we had, it starts to look actually cohesive. This is the part, I love this part. Like, I love how this all came together. I think that's really pretty. So these colors are picking up in the material. So you can see this mauve or purple color there, this tan color here, this grayish purple is here. Like, all those colors are getting picked up in the material. So when I started putting those signatures together, I thought, oh yes, it's starting to take shape. And then things start to flow, and you can always marry up those. Those are the models I was talking about. Like, that looks okay. But Miss Ginny, whatever your name is back here, Ginny, sorry, we're probably going to cover you up. Okay. Yeah, those are just models, so it's not, that's a different story. Okay, so this will be on the inside, like that. And then we will have the 2-hole ribbon closure on the outside, and we have to decorate the front. Okay, well, thank you for hanging out with me today, and I will see you next Wednesday. And like I said, we'll do some embellishing and start getting this pulled together and finish the structure. Okay, have a great week. Take care. Bye.